Two bags, 30 books for Amazon, $6 spent. Got a ton of books for my kids as well, but only $6 for 30 books. How much is that per book? So that's 20 cents per book, I believe, if my math is right. This was the second day of the sale. This was their bag sale. That they had the other sale last weekend, but I was in Vegas, so I missed out. Next time I'll just go to the first day though, because all the best stuff is already picked out by all the booksellers. So this is the last time I'm going to go to the bag sale for this particular sale. It just doesn't make sense. There's just not very many books. Not to mention that there's other booksellers at the bag sale. There are about 5 other booksellers at the bag sale, and the bag sale is everything that's left over from the initial sale the previous weekend. So all of the other booksellers that were not there today were there last Saturday, going through everything and finding the most profitable books. Because this book sale definitely has good books, but if you're not there the first day, you're going to miss out. And I think that's really for most sales that have a second day that is the bag sale, that the resellers, you know, you should go the first day, because clearly that's where the best stuff is going to be. And you're going to pay a little bit more. You know, you might pay 50 cents for paperback, $1 for hardback, but you know, you're going to find the much better, much more profitable books. Which just makes more sense. I did find some interesting ones. This one, Implementing Organizational Change Theory into Practice. It's ranked over 5 million. There's only 7 used copies, and the lowest MF is about $92. This is not a book that sells very often, but when it does, it goes for good money. So my thought is to list it, send it in and list it for much less than the MF, so that when the price comes, or when the buyer comes along, that I could get the sale. I'll give it a shot, you know, check it out in a few months. Maybe it'll take 6 months, a year to sell, but even if I sell it for $50, I got the book for 20 cents, so it would be a great flip. The other book I found that was interesting is this one, which is a comic called Arlo and Janice. Very thin book. There's only 1 copy on there. 1 copy. It's ranked over 4 million, and there's a few reviews, but the 1 copy, which is MF, is going for $1,000, and that's used. I looked the book up on Camel, and according to the price history, actually the price stays pretty high. It has dropped all the way down in the last year to $99, but that's still extremely high. For a great deal of time, it's actually listed for around $1,000, but it's only sold 2 copies in the last 12 months. I have no problem sending it in and listing it for much less than $1,000 and grabbing that next sale, because clearly the book does sell. Over the past 4 years or so, it's sold a dozen or so copies, maybe more. I could list it for $100 and I would probably be the next sale, because the chances of someone spending $1,000 on that book is pretty slim. So I would rather take the chance of selling it for $100, which would be an amazing sale, than crossing my fingers and hoping that I would sell it for $1,000 at some point in the future, which is highly unlikely. Also, there's a chance that someone might take a look at it and say, oh, I want to flip the book. I'm going to buy it for $100 and let's resell it for $1,000. And I wish them good luck. And if they do it, then they know more than me, and they are a better bookseller than I am. Getting paid $80 off a $100 sale off a book that I spent 20 cents on sounds pretty good to me. So overall, the books were leaning more towards long tail and not going. It was probably, the range was probably about $10 to $15 range on average for the books. So these were not, by and large, really very valuable books, except those few that have potential to be valuable, but they will definitely take some time to sell. So overall, it was worth it because I still got 30 books for $6. And I got a ton of kids books for my kids. They have a sale about every 2 or 3 months. Next time I'll definitely go to the first day and be prepared for that. The other issue was the internet signal was pretty poor, so I was having an issue pulling up the data. Sometimes it was going efficiently, and then other times it was just slow. Whenever I have a bad connection now, I just start thinking about the downloadable database, and it makes me consider using it. but I don't have an issue with the signal enough for me to make the switch. Because in general, you know, it's not an issue. Also, there was a couple there, I guess a married couple, I don't know, a man and a woman who were scanning with a little Bluetooth scanner that they were holding in their hand, and then they had the phone. One guy had it on his wrist, and then I don't know where the other woman had the phone. And he was going through the books pretty quick. I guess they have a parameter set up so that when it beeps, makes a noise, vibrates, whatever it is, they know to pick that book. So those are based on parameters such as how many sellers there are, how much the book is going for, FBA, you know, that type of stuff. So they don't seem to even look at the book. It just beeps and they put it in the bag, which I guess makes sense for the bag sale because it's so inexpensive. The one thing I don't like about that is I don't like just relying on the beeping versus looking at the book and seeing if you feel that it will sell. Just because the rank looks right, the price, and the amount of copies, it doesn't always indicate that it's worth buying. Usually does, but not always. The need for speed, people are doing that because they were out of there pretty quick, but also they didn't look at all the books. You know, they look at fiction, and I picked out about 3 or 4 books from fiction, and they didn't look at a few other sections, like the sections that had the humor books, where I found that cartoon book, and maybe they're not willing to take a risk on that one, but it's not much of a risk considering you're getting it for next to nothing, and it costs $0.01 to $0.02 a month to store. So to each their own. You know, I guess speed is the most important thing to some people because they want to fly through the sale so they can go to either another sale or just go to a thrift store or a yard sale, whatever it may be. I mean, I understand it makes sense logically, but I'm still opposed to the focus on speed all the time at the potential expense of getting quality books. But I guess if you know what you're doing, you're probably going to pick the books that are going to sell. So, you know, it's still a debate. I'm sure at some point, the thing about having the scanner is, you know, then I don't have to worry about my phone and it'll scan immediately right when it hits the barcode, so I save time, but I can still look at the books. But you know, that little bit of time saved it'll stack up, and so I'll be done with a sale quicker. So maybe at some point in the future I will get the scanner, the Bluetooth scanner, because I know people on the comments, you know, a few people say, you know, oh, it'll change you'll never go back, and it's way better and that sort of thing, and maybe it is, and maybe if I do make that change, I'll be just like them preaching that. So we'll see. So I bought 30 books, and I'm wondering out of the 30, how many Amazon will decide to not accept. Another thing about this whole issue with Amazon not taking certain books is an alternative, if the book is right for it, is to just do merchant fulfilled. On some of the lower priced items or lower priced books, it might not make any sense because the merchant fulfilled prices are too low. But on some of the higher priced ones, you could try it. For instance, on those 2 that I mentioned earlier in the video, you know, going for $92, I could do MF, but I could drop it significantly. Or the other one, I could do MF, do $100, $99, whatever. So that's an alternative, you know, that's something to consider if there's certain books that are going for a lot of money. Maybe you will not make as much selling it merchant fulfilled, but you could still make some money on it. Of course, you have to keep it yourself and store it until it sells. So that just, you know, kind of defeats the purpose of doing FBA and getting everything out of your house and to an Amazon warehouse. So hopefully Amazon figures this out really soon and lets us know what's going on. But if not, you know, if this becomes part of selling on Amazon, they're just not accepting certain books and you have to wait to send them in, then they would just have to adapt or just get out and stop selling books on Amazon. So that's the choice. Those are the choices, right? Play by their rules or go do something else. So hopefully they don't get too crazy about it though. 14% of my books, that means out of these 30, another 4 or 5 could be kicked out as well. So we'll see. You know, if the percentage goes up a lot, if it doubles or triples, and that's a problem. definitely, and that's going to make me reconsider, you know, the books that I source. We'll see if I can visit some yard sales today. I might not be able to. This might be my only sourcing trip for the day. These are all books I picked up at yard sale. And a yard sale, I guess it's more of an estate sale here. Let's see, 8 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, so 25 total, plus 30 from the other one. This one came from a house that I actually went to before, and if you remember, I made a video about it. I sold a bunch of books, well, not a bunch, but I already sold quite a few from there. Really expensive books, one for like 50, 60 bucks. Spent $60, not on these, but on those other ones. This is from the same house, and this has got some really good stuff. Heartthrob, Frank Lloyd Wright, Silent Screens. This is one going for good money. This one, Beefcake. This is from a guy passed away who was a gay couple, and one of them passed away, so they have a lot of stuff that's how should we say, gay themed. Here, Complete Collector's Guide to Bauer Pottery, Royal Winton Collector's Handbook. There's also some other manhandled celluloid closet. So it's some this one here, Boy Wonder, is going for insane money, but I don't think it's realistic. I think it was like $900. There's like 4 or 5 copies, and they're all going for over $900. And there's not very many copies, so I'll have to check that one out. So I actually found better books at the yard sale and the estate sale than at the book sale. Hopefully you had a good day of sourcing, or you're going to source tomorrow, etc., and you find some good stuff out there. And as always, remember, keep booking.